As I mentioned before, in some cases, the seed disperses on its own. In some cases, the fruit disperses. So if you have one of these indehiscent fruits, dry indehiscent fruits, this is typically a case where the seed disperses with the fruit. So the fruit wall provides an extra layer of protection. And in some cases like this, the fruit can provide a structure that helps with dispersal. So a couple cases here, these are plants in a couple similar families, the Rosaceae and Ranunculaceae, distant relatives, but very similar adaptations in a lot of cases. These are achenes with a feathery, this is actually the style of these fruits. The style sticks around and develops into its own structure that's helping with wind pollen or wind dispersal. And in this case, the fruit disperses. Wings, we've seen these before. This has that specialized term of samara. This is a fruit that's dry, indehiscent, and has some kind of wing on it. So it doesn't have to be an extravagant wing, but just helping, say, in a strong breeze to get that seed farther away from the plant that made it. In some cases, these are rather extreme, where you have like a lightweight seed inside of a rather broad winged fruit. So the wing here is made from fruit tissue. That's kind of an important distinction for some of these. So wings on a fruit, wings on a fruit, wings on fruit, and so on. Wind dispersal using fruit tissue. And then this is a case where we have the seeds modified to have some feathery components to them. So nice illustrations on all of these of the seeds actually being produced inside of a dehiscent capsule. So, sorry, capsule here, follicle here, I should say. So this follicle of the milkweed breaks open. This is the fruit, and inside are a bunch of seeds, and each seed has a bunch of this feathery hair inside attached to them. Same thing here. This is willow herb, they call it. The fruit is breaking apart into these big flaps, and a bunch of little seeds with hairs on them. Cotton, big hairy seeds, cottonwood, big hairy seeds. And so in this case, the dispersal is happening on the seed. So very similar function, but much different origins if you think about how these plants would be producing these. Same thing with the seeds. Seeds also can have wings on them. I suppose I see this a little less often, although this is pretty characteristic of our gymnosperms in the pine family. So this is a spruce here and some of the seeds that would come out of that. These are our gymnosperms, so they don't have the option of having an indehiscent fruit because they don't make fruits. So the seeds disperse on their own, naked from these cones, and the seeds have wings associated with them. So seen a couple strategies, hairs and wings as good strategies for wind dispersal, either present on the fruit or present on the seed. And then another case here, accessory tissue. Again, sometimes they don't look all that different, and it requires knowing how these are put together to really appreciate that difference. So we have a thistle here. Thistles in the Asteraceae family, the sunflower family, same family as dandelions. And if you remember, we had that hairy component that's actually made up out of the calyx. So highly modified calyx has these hairs on it, these bristly hairs, and those are good at catching the wind. The fruit, actually, this location here would be the fruit, which is an achene. So technically a little achene or nut. And then the whole bunch of calyx tissue, which is accessory. It doesn't belong to the fruit properly, and that's helping in dispersal. We saw Batulaceae in the trees category. We've got, again, a little achene here, and they're associated with these big papery bracts that are pretty distinctive in the flowering portion and also in the fruiting component. So bract, not part of the flower technically, and certainly not part of the ovary. That's involved in catching the wind and helping with dispersal.